So now we're in the first actual melodic line of the solo, which is this one. Starting on the F, with the tone knob rolled down, bending up to F sharp, opening up the tone knob, releasing the band, pulling off to D, sliding down to C sharp. And then that exact same line gets repeated a perfect fifth below. With the same fingering, the same tone knob action, everything. And tonally, if you would arrange all these notes in a row and try to find a scale that all of these notes belong to, it would be something rather complicated, something like a Neapolitan minor with a natural second, as far as I'm aware. But that's totally not what I'm thinking while playing. In reality, I have the root note in my inner ear. And then on top of that, I'm trying to find a combination of intervals that give me that specific feeling, that specific vibe that I'm going for. In this case, something like that, something dark and mysterious. So it's just a little cell of 3 to 4 notes, most often in the space of a perfect fourth. And that is called, in Syrian and Middle Eastern music, that's called a maqam. So it's a little mini scale, if you want to. And then I can transpose this mini scale to, say, a perfect fifth below. And it will give me a different but very closely related result. And if I play both of these lines together with the root note at the same time, you can clearly hear how really dark and mysterious that sounds. And that would be kind of a mega scale that if you would go down the traditional theoretical route, you'd be hard-pressed to study a lot of theory books to arrive at that point. But I think it's really so much easier, more natural to find a small cell of intervals that you like and then transpose them and then work with them and see whatever things you can do with them before going for these elaborate theoretical constructs. All right, so next up we have another really interesting, kind of similar melodic line. We have a couple of really interesting harmonic concepts here as well. So we start out on the major sixth and bend up to the minor seventh. And also all of these bends that you're about to hear are played with the tone knob. So first note, tone knob rolled down, and then as I bend up, the tone knob gets rolled on. Right? So we have major sixth to minor seventh, then another hammer on until onto the F sharp, which is the perfect fifth, bend up to the minor sixth, then hammer on to the flat five, the F, bend up to the perfect fifth, and operate it into the kill switches before I slide down to the C, the minor second, and then pull off to the root note. So once again, if you put all of these different individual intervals into one big scale, it would be something like the altered scale, something really complicated, something that you'd have to study long and hard in order to master and to apply on the guitar. But I'm not thinking like that at all. I'm thinking in terms of what can I borrow from which mode? Because I have a pretty good grasp on the modes. And I look at a root node, in this case B, and I view the Phrygian scale or the Dorian scale or whatever other modes are available from that same root node. And then I sort of borrow what I want to get from each individual cookie jar. So in this case, I'm getting the major sixth from the Dorian mode. That's Dorian. And then I'm going Phrygian for the minus sixth here. And the minor second. And you could also argue that playing the flat fifth here is a bit of Locrian. So I'm definitely grabbing all these different elements from the different modes. So you could call it modal interchange. And that is something that I do all the time, especially over a root node that doesn't change, because you can get away with so much and you can create melody lines and shapes of sound that are just really not limited to one particular mode. And that also means that it's not limited to that particular emotional expression that one mode offers you. More modes, more ways of expressing yourself.